Andrew from Defiant Tactical Accessories here. I have a kind of the biggest project I've worked on yet, I guess. The longest, certainly, YouTube video that I've ever put together, which means probably no one will watch it. But I recently purchased a GoPro, and I also just got back from a 3-gun match. You know what that means is you have some GoPro 3-gun match footage that we're going to go over here. If you've watched the channel a little bit, you may know that I consider things like airsoft and 3-gun to be useful ways to reinforce training and also to learn. There are things we can learn there, not the same way that we can learn from a class, but we can learn and reinforce techniques. But oftentimes they aren't the greatest place for tactics. Airsoft more for tactics, but nevertheless, I digress. So this weekend I went to a match. It was a 3-gun match for a local Rotary club. All of the proceeds benefited the Rotary club. There were many local sponsors for the match as well. It was a great deal, right? Like, for what we got out of it, the learning points and the practice that I got, I think it's hard to beat bang for your buck. It was like $25, right? And under 100 rounds, rifle, shotgun, pistol, each. So we shot out of cars, we shot out to 500 yards, and all sorts of stuff. So we're going to go over those right now. I'm going to start off so I'm going to go over each stage. We'll start off with the description of the stage. I use a highly advanced drawing application called Paint to draw up by hand each stage, and then we'll watch together. I'll try to do an overlay. The first time I've done that, I downloaded CapCut, and I'm still kind of trying to figure things out. And then I'll talk about sort of some lessons learned afterwards for each video. Okay. So yeah, stay tuned. We'll go through all that. I know it's going to be a long video. I'm sorry, but bear with me. It'll be worth it. Okay. I hope you all enjoy my highly technical, extremely detailed drawing here. This is stage 1. So our stage 1 began in position 1. That's the blue box on the left. And we were behind barrel cover. Okay, I drew 2 barrels. There's a third one as well. But the 2 barrels on the left were taller than the one in the middle, so we could see through. In front of the barrels were two sets of 2 cardboard silhouette targets. And then at distance, there were 2 more steel silhouette targets, one at 400, one at 500. Each of these were connected to some sort of indicator system with a light that would blink green when hit. I couldn't see that with the naked eye, but there were spotters to the below position 3 in this position with spotting scopes that were watching when you shoot. Now, there were bricks above position 2 and below position 3 to prevent you from moving too far from the barrels while shooting. And finally, you had the option to go to the black square or rectangle in the upper left-hand corner, which is a mat for laying down for prone shooting. So the way that this stage worked is you began in position 1. From position 1, you have to engage each of the nearby targets 2 times from position 1. You can't move from position 1. It has to go from between the barrels. Then engage the 400-yard target. You have 5 chances to hit it. So you can engage, and then if you hit it, you get to move over to the 500-yard target. You get 5 chances to hit that. Now, you can either take it from position 1, or you can run over to the prone position and take the shots from position 2, or from the black rectangle. Okay. Once you've completed that string, you reset and go back to position 2. You do the same thing. Engage all 4 targets from position 2 around the left side of the barrel, and then engage the 400 and 500-yard targets however you want. You can either do it from position 2 or move over to the prone. And finally, position 3. Same thing. Engage all 4 of the near targets with 2 rounds, and then the far targets either from position 3 or from prone. So that was stage 1.
understand the course of fire?
I believe so.
Shooter
All right.
Shooter ready.
Stand by.
Let's get on with stage 1. I didn't like having to pick it up from the barrel. I thought it was kind of stupid. I think I may have turned on my light right here. Yeah. And I didn't know my my holdovers, so I zeroed and confirmed 0 out to 300 yards. I'll talk about that more in a minute. But I was way off at 400. So I was trying to figure out where I needed to be holding. I sent a few rounds, you know, right on target at the 400. And at that point, I started kind of doing a grid, right? So hold left, hold right, hold low left, hold low right, hold high left, high right, that kind of thing. So, spoiler alert, I don't end up making the hit here. I had 5 tries and I don't hit it.
Okay. Oh, gotta leave it loaded.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that was my 5th try, and I'm
Okay,
out.
sounds safe.
7216. 1 miss. All right, which side you gonna go next?
Left.
Okay, so next I'm going to go around the left side, and then I go around the right.
Shooter understand the course of fire?
Yep.
Shooter ready?
Yep.
Stand by.
Okay, here we go.
Stop. Stay inside the brick. There you go.
They had these bricks, and like you couldn't go beyond a certain point on the barrel. I don't know. It's kind of dumb to me. But this works a lot better. I should have just gone prone the first time. Again, one of those learning points, right?
Hit. Go to 5.
So I had to hold. This is the target. I had to hold low and left on the target to get a hit. So I decided to go for the 500, but pretty quickly I realized I was just throwing darts.
All right. I'm good. All right.
5018.
This last string of fire, I was really concerned. I was concerned with not doing, like going out of bounds, where he talked about a fault or whatever. So I was being careful with that. You'll see what I'm talking about here in a second.
Stand by.
Yeah, so I pied super slowly. And then had to do a mag change. Talk about that more in a second.
Hit.
Okay. Call it good.
I figured it out. See? All right.
I'll get it.
All right. Rifles cleared. 3, 6, 4, 0.
Your light was on, I don't know if it still is.
Yeah. Got it. Thanks.
All right, so that was stage 1. And when I shot that, I had a couple of learning moments or learning points that came out of it. Number 1, in the first string, I tried to brace against that barrel to shoot at the 400-yard target, and I don't think that was the best idea. I should have just gone prone. It might have worked out okay if I'd known my holdover a little bit better, but I didn't. And that is because I was only able to confirm 0 out to 300 yards the day before. And even at that, it turns out that I didn't do a good job at that because I didn't make hits on the 400-yard steel from that first string of fire. Now the second string of fire, where I ran over and went prone, I made a hit I think on the second round, And what I found out is that I had to hold low and left with my ACOG, the ACOG marker on the reticle for 400 yards. So that's pretty significant. Like it was a pretty good variance from where my zero should have been. And so, yeah, if I'd had that better on, even if my elevation was wrong but my windage was correct, I could have probably successfully gone for the 500-yard target too. But because my windage was so far off, I just didn't even know where I was landing, and it was just, you know, throwing darts. It wasn't effective. Something else that happened during this stage is during the last string of fire, I ran dry on my weapon while shooting offhand. Now, that wasn't something I was really prepared for, and I haven't practiced offhand reloads in a long time, and you can tell in the video. Now, what did I do? I improvised. I transitioned back over to strong hand, conducted a reload, and then got the rest of the string of fire done. That exposed a deficiency in my own muscle memory, a deficiency in my own preparation, and this is one of the things that I like doing this sort of activity for. Okay, it didn't help with the technique, or rather a tactic, but it did help with a technique, or to identify a deficiency in technique. Okay, I think those were pretty much all of the learning points here. You know, as far as, you know, people like to talk about competition not being a fight, and that's true. But some of the other value that I got out of this, you know, I did pie around both sides, right? So I got some practice, I guess, doing that. I chose to shoot from my weak hand, going around the right side. I didn't have to. Most people probably didn't. And stuff. Now, tactic-wise, this obviously, none of this matters is correct tactically, right? If I have 4 people that close to me, and tying yourself down to using one piece or part of your cover doesn't make any sense, much less crowding it or establishing some sort of boundary where you can't go further than this or that. Like, that's just stupid, right? Tactically. But none of that matters here. That's not even something that should be on our radar. Overall, I was fairly happy with how I performed, in that, I mean, I got the farthest hit I've ever got with that little 10.5-inch AR. Like, I've never shot out to 400 yards before, and I successfully made contact. And once I knew my holdover, I got contact the first time, right? I think the third string of fire, I made my hit on my first try. So that was really good. Overall, that was a really fun stage, and if I had better zeroed, then I think I would have done better. But it was fun either way.
All right, stage 2 was a little more complicated. So I've drawn sort of 2 different views for it. The left is an overview, and the right is sort of specific to position 5. So in stage 2, there were walls set up. The black lines that you see here, where my mouse is, and up here represent walls. And you start in position 1 behind a barrel with your pistol. It actually is set on top of the barrel, but anyway, with the pistol. And from there, you engage these 2 cardboard silhouette targets with 2 rounds each, at least 2 rounds. The idea is to get 2 rounds in the A zone of the target. Okay, so some people just mag dumped, some people did 2 rounds exactly. From there, you dump the pistol and you grab your shotgun, which is staged right there, and you move to position 2, 3, and 4. From there, there's a variety of little square. They're like usually 4x4, 6x6, I think, about that size. Popper targets. You shoot them with the shotgun loaded with birdshot, and they fall over. So there's holes in the walls, and so you kind of work your way around from position 2, hit the ones you can, move on to position 3, hit the ones you can, 4, you hit the ones you can. And then at position 5, there's another barrel I didn't draw to dump the shotgun, and you pick up your rifle or AR pistol. And from there, if you look over on the right, the barrels were stacked. There were 3 barrels, 2 on the bottom, 1 in the middle on top. That barrel had a hole cut in it, in each end, with a firing port, so you could shoot through it, which, as you might imagine, wasn't the most pleasant experience for people with muzzle brakes or a short barrel like mine. And 100 yards from that, you have 2 targets. One is a gong. It might have been I don't think it was 6 inches, maybe 4 or 6 inch gong. And to the right of that, a silhouette steel target, which is a no-shoot. You're not allowed to shoot it. and a hanging swinging target above it and to its left or right, depending on, if someone had just shot it before. So for that part of this course of fire, from that 100, you're supposed to take a 100-yard shot at the gong, and then a 100-yard shot at the hostage target. Right, hit that gong next to the no shoot.
Stage 2. See if I have any thoughts here. Okay. Felt good on the pistol. That's kind of my strong suit, honestly. I pied right to left because I'm a lefty, and I felt like that would be more realistic. I forgot to take the shotgun off safe. We'll talk about that in a minute. Notice I'm not moving too fast. Loading a shotgun is slow for me. We'll talk about that in a minute too.
I can probably go ahead and hit this. Oops, I'll just get it from over there. It's right here. Oops.
I dropped a shotgun shell.
I'm probably not gonna be able to get that. I'll just leave it. Sorry.
Yeah, I wasn't going back after one that I missed. No way. Muzzle stuck through the hole in the wall. Not my favorite, but
All
it
good?
is what it is.
Okay.
All right, grab the AR
And
and through
matter
the
which one I
firing
go for
port.
first,
There's a lot of backblast here, as you might imagine. So I went for the gong on the ground first. And I think it took me a shot or two to... Oh, there we go. Okay, hit on the first one. Now, for the hostage shot, I erred on the side of caution.
Oh, shit.
Because my zero's off. And so I kind of went up and walked it in to the gong. I just didn't want to hit that no-shoot. I think the next one I get it, maybe. There we go. Yeah. So I was trying to be really careful and not make a mistake there. All right. So for stage 2, I had a couple of learning points that are worth mentioning. Sorry, I'm using the old Mark I hand to hold my phone up here. You'll have to forgive me. I really need to invest in a stand. But anyway, the pistol side went fine. I mean, I shoot more pistol than anything else, so that was okay. Stage 2 revealed a major deficiency in my ability to run a shotgun. I at one time had fairly good muscle memory with shotguns, but I don't mess with mine very much anymore. I have a cheap old shotgun. It doesn't have a side port. It is an Ithaca Model 37 clone, so it ejects out the bottom. It holds 4 rounds in the tube. Can't put any more. Can't buy an extension really. So that is a problem for this kind of activity. Okay, now 4 rounds in the tube probably is fine for actual fighting, I suppose. I don't know. More is usually better, but anyways, really what it came down to was technique. Okay, I had honestly forgotten kind of like even the manual of arms for quickly disengaging the safety. The muscle memory for reaching up under to my butt cuff to grab two shot shells at a time, or even just one at a time, and load into the shotgun. Those were things that I had to think about. I had to remember on the fly how to do, and that's not the position you want to be in for this kind of activity, for a match, much less in a fight. Once again, this is one of those things where that was valuable to me. Okay, it revealed a deficiency in my technique, and something that I probably need to practice more on if I care to maintain proficiency with the shotgun, which I probably should. Okay. For the rifle or AR pistol side, again, I feel like I did well. I should have gotten first shot hit on that hostage shot. I knew that my zero was off, and I wanted to err on the side of not hitting the hostage target. I don't know how much gaming that is, I suppose in real life you really wouldn't want to hit a hostage target either, but at the same time, if you don't hit the hostage taker the first time, then it doesn't matter much now, does it? So I walked it in is what I did. You may not get that chance in real life. But to me, that errs on the side of tactics and not technique. What that hammers home is the importance of having a good, known, accurate zero. And that is really important for all shooting. So, yeah, there's that.
Okay, stage 3 was a really fun one. So on stage 3, we start in the blue box at the bottom behind yet another barrel. And actually, it wasn't a barrel, it was a table. I guess I should have drawn a table, but whatever. You get what you get. On the table, you have set a shotgun on the left, and you have set your pistol on the right. And what you have to do is engage. Well, I guess before I talk about what you have to do, to your left, sort of was it like a 9, not quite 9, like a 10 o'clock, you have a bunch of poppers. These are oblong with a kind of a bit of a circular shape in the middle, but oblong targets that when you shoot them with birdshot, they just fall over. In the middle of these poppers is a no-shoot. It's just a popper with an X on it, okay? And pretty much directly ahead of you is a steel silhouette with a no-shoot on it and what do they call it? A swinging gong. I don't remember. There's a name. I don't know. I don't do a lot of these. I'm not big into the competition thing. I just enjoy shooting these things for fun, right? So anyway, a swinging gong for a hostage shot above it. So what you have to do is you iterate back and forth. So buzzer goes off, and you have to grab the shotgun and engage a popper. The specific instruction for the stage was to engage one. If you used the birdshot to like scallop and hit multiple at once, then you would lose points. So the instruction was to engage one popper, set it down, grab the pistol, and engage the hanging target. Set that down, go back to shotgun, engage the next popper. Set that down, back to pistol, and so on and so forth. So that was the stage. It was a lot of fun.
All right, let's watch stage 3 together. This is a fun one. So I ended up developing a bit of a shooting cadence here. Notice I had to lean because I didn't want to hit both of those targets at the same time. This is one of those things that really shows the use of a red dot. And now I have to load. Yeah. See, I had trouble with the safety there. Yep, there it is again. Safety again. You know? Alright. So they deliberately put this target one behind the no-shoot. I'm going to try and hit it. I'm trying to shoot. I'm trying to lean and go up and then shoot around it. And I got it that time, but I barely hit the no-shoot. Alright. And over. Alright. I don't really have a whole lot to say about that one. It was a lot of fun. You know, I think as far as practical skills go, there isn't much to be said about being able to flop back and forth between those different weapons like that, especially from the table. If we had been allowed to holster, I think it would have been a much more useful exercise from a practical standpoint, right? And sling the shotgun, right? If we had had to sling it and then draw and engage the hostage shot and then reholster, unsling, engage, that would be giving us reps and testing our ability to consistently transition and engage with a pistol, which is what I would do if I had to do something like that. You know, in that, again, unlikely scenario where I've got to shoot, I have a shotgun in hand and I have to shoot something or someone, and then I need to engage, take a hostage shot like that, I would probably transition to the pistol. Unless I know the round I have, maybe it's flight control buckshot or something, keeps a super tight load, tight pattern, and I know very confidently what I'm looking at that distance, but certainly not with that bird shot. Again, I was fairly pleased with that that stage. I think that it was evident in my shooting that just how important a red dot is. That red dot made hitting that hostage shot very easy every time. About halfway through, I started pulling them a little high. I don't know if it's because I was rushing or what, but you know, I did notice that my red dot 0 probably needs some work as well. At the range the day before, it was well. I take that back. It's zeroed for my carry ammo, and I think that the problem is that it's my FMJ ammo was a little off, and I'm not going to adjust it for that. So, all right, let's get on to the last stage.
All right, stage 4 had us beginning in position 1, which I couldn't really draw any better than I did. You're sitting in the driver's seat of this vehicle. To your right, out the passenger side window, which had been busted out, is a target, a cardboard silhouette, maybe 3 yards away, whatever the distance is. I mean, it was right outside the window. In front of the car, through your windshield, maybe 10 yards away total, were 2 more silhouette targets. About 80 yards down the way was another vehicle facing you with a cardboard silhouette in the driver's seat, a cardboard silhouette outside the left side of the vehicle, our right, and one outside the left side of the vehicle, or rather the right side of the vehicle, our left. So three targets up there. And the course of fire went as follows. You had to put your pistol into a pistol box in the passenger seat, and when the buzzer went off, retrieve the pistol and engage all 3 nearby targets with at least 2 rounds to the A zone. Once you were done with that, dump the pistol in the box, get out, and you have a rifle staged in the back seat. You grab your rifle, and you engage from there in 3 different positions. So you're supposed to get 2 rounds in each of the far targets from the back seat, shooting through the busted out front passenger window, from the trunk in position 3, and from the hood in position 4. So engage all 3 far targets 2 times from each of those positions.
This and the first stage were probably my favorite, so this was pretty fun. I wish they'd let us start holstered, but you know,
Okay.
is what it is.
Yep.
Can't get by without at least a little bit of pew pew noise, pretending I'm shooting. You can see some other people have already put a bunch of holes in that glass. So
I understand the course of fire. I am ready.
beep. Oh. This pistol ammo causes me problems like that all the time. So.
Oops, shit.
So I went ahead and put 2 rounds into the driver's seat just in case. We only technically had to shoot once, but I didn't want the glass to to throw the shot, especially at that angle. That's it. Now, I think I walk up there in this video to go see what I did. I'll hang out. We'll go all the way up.
Okay.
So on this one, I ended up with 2 rounds through the same hole, barely breaking the A zone. And honestly, that's another
think that was two?
That's another thing I don't love about matches, but we can talk about that more in a minute.
I think it was 2, but then I also think I can give him that too.
It was deliberate. I actually put 2 in the exact same hole on purpose.
The accuracy one?
Yes. So we'll just have to do that.
Okay. How about this guy?
I had a pretty good
Alright.
group on that one, but it was super close. So what do you expect?
This is the fun one.
Yeah, we'll see what I did here.
Does
Hopefully,
when it goes through.
hopefully nothing embarrassing. I might turn the camera off.
I
before
felt
get-
totally weird wearing a camera on my forehead the entire time.
Not seeing any holes. Oh, they're there.
About 80, 84. Yeah,
So I got all 3 on that one.
to get to a point.
Yeah.
I missed 1 round on that guy.
Okay.
You only got 2 on that one?
And then this target on the inside was interesting to look at. You can see how tore up it is.
And this poor target's a little hard to tell.
It's tore up bad. I did have 3 hits. They all came in and were on the driver's shoulder side, is where they all were.
Reminder to definitely not stay in your car in a gunfight.
Yeah.
Because none of that looks good.
Because even if they don't hit you, they're going to freaking blind you.
Yeah, nothing good comes out of that.
Right. This last stage was a lot of fun. I don't know. Let's see. So I handled an unexpected malfunction, obviously, fairly well, and just by muscle memory, right? Tap rack and then get back to it. I think that this stage is another representation of why matches are useful. We don't do this sort of thing very often in real life. We don't shoot from these sorts of situations and positions in real life very often. We don't deal with malfunctions in real life in these sorts of environments very often. And here we had the opportunity to do so. Not on a static, pristine range where I'm standing and, my body's in its normal position, but rather while sitting in a car, right? So yeah, that I think I handled fairly well, and I handled the pistol shots just fine. So moving on to the rifle side, one thing that I noticed, I just remembered in this video that I noticed in general is I didn't use my sling any. I could have, and I probably should have for a little extra stability. That's something that I need to think about and maybe do better on. So, what else? Oh, when engaging those targets at 80 yards without even thinking about it, I mean, there was no conscious thought about it at all. I just used my piggyback red dot, which I didn't use for any other target at any other time throughout this whole thing. And I don't know how I feel about that. At 80 yards, obviously a red dot is sufficient. So on the one hand, I look at that and I go, you know what? I didn't even think about it. I just went with the tool that was sufficient for the job I had at hand. Okay. But on the other hand, that ACOG with 3 or 4x zoom would have been better, maybe could have helped. I don't know. I guess I'm not sure how I feel about the fact that it didn't even cross my mind to use it, because on the one hand, I feel good that I didn't spend time thinking about a tool I ultimately didn't need, but on the other hand, I wonder if maybe I should have used it and it didn't even cross my mind. I don't know how I threw that one shot, but when we went up to the vehicle to take a look at the damage that we'd done, this was another learning point for me. I had never shot into a vehicle before. Now I've done matches where we shoot out, but what I noticed, what was, I guess, a learning point for me is how much shrapnel and like glass and all sorts of stuff ended up all over that target. Being inside of a vehicle during a gunfight is not somewhere you want to be. I don't think. Nothing good comes from that. Even if the rounds themselves somehow don't hit you, which you know, when I was shooting, I was aiming for about the middle of the steering wheel, right above that. And my rounds went through the upper left shoulder. They almost missed. They were kind of close to missing. I don't know, maybe if that indicates that I should have been aiming differently in the vehicle. I suspect it has maybe something to do with the angle of the vehicle. Ultimately, I think it just means more shots, more better, right, for shooting into autoglass. But for being on the receiving end, none of that would be good. I mean, there was glass shrapnel all over the chest and face of that target, and getting out of a vehicle that is taking fire seems like a really, really smart thing to do. I guess I had never really thought about that before. Not that it's smart to get out of a car that's being shot at, but just how much shrapnel and crap is going to be coming out of the windshield towards you. So another one of those things that I think makes matches like this valuable, where you've got this sort of thing to do and to see, because you don't do it very often or see it very often. All right, I think I figured out a way to stand up my camera here. Oh, so that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. That was a really fun match. We do these every year out here. I'm not involved in the organization. I hope sometime in the near future, maybe next year, I guess, to be a sponsor, depending on how things go with Defiant Tactical. But it benefits the local Rotary Club and helps fund their operations and stuff, and it's goes to a good cause. Plus, you get to shoot, and hey, they give you a T-shirt and lunch on top of it. So for $25, I've wasted $25 on a lot more or a lot less than that. So, anyways, this video has been long enough. I'm not going to keep you anymore. I learn every time that I go out and do something like this. I learn more doing things like this than I do on a flat range. And I personally encourage you, if you're not sure about matches or if you're skeptical about matches, to go shoot some. Go find a local organization and shoot some matches. There's going to be rules, there's going to be conventions, there's going to be, stage steps and orders or whatever that you have to do during a string of fire that are just part of the game. And you've got to acknowledge that and set it aside. There's ways that you can approach it to make it more realistic. I was using a battle belt, in my Safariland holster, like a duty holster. I wasn't using my concealed carry gear. I could have. Maybe I should have. That would have added a layer of realism and usefulness to this, but I didn't. But I was shooting with all my regular equipment. I mean, my carry gun, my go-to AR, is in my bag. That's what I put in my bag. I was using the battle belt that I keep with it. I brought out one of my Defiant Tactical Raider chest rigs. I had that with me. If that's something that would interest you, I'd encourage you to go check it out. I have it on eBay, and if I can, I'll throw a link in the description here for those. But go check them out. Go do a match, and ignore the tactics. Learn from the techniques. You'll have fun. This is Andrew with Defiant Tactical Accessories, and we will catch you on the next one.